Section 12.5 is more about dividing polynomials. In the last section, we looked at taking two rational expressions and dividing them by multiplying by the reciprocal. Now we're going to talk about just how do we divide one polynomial by another. So dividing a polynomial by a monomial. We've already done some of this work, so let's look at this. We're going to rewrite this as 3r squared minus 15r divided by 3r. And in order to simplify or divide this, I'm going to divide each piece in the numerator separately with our monomial denominator. So the 3's cancel, one of my r's cancel, I'm left with r, minus the r's cancel, and 15/3 is 5. So to divide by a monomial, we simply divide each piece of the numerator by the monomial, and we simplify those expressions. Let's look at another one. So again, x squared plus 10x plus 12 divided by 5x. That's x squared over 5x plus 10x divided by 5x plus 12 divided by 5x. So again, using my rules, the numbers, there's nothing to cancel the 5 with, so it stays. X squared over x is x on top. Here these x's cancel, and 10/5 becomes 2. And the last one, there is nothing to simplify, so I simply leave it as 12 over 5x. And that's my answer to divide a polynomial divided by a monomial. Okay, so now let's look at dividing a polynomial by a binomial. If I set it up with my division bar, I can now look at this and say, well, gosh, maybe I can factor. So if I factor the top, you can see that I will be able to cancel and get x minus 1. And that works great if I can factor the top and cancel it with the bottom. I can do my division, again, my division problem, just like I did when I was asked to simplify a rational. But let's look what happens if factoring doesn't work. So if you can't factor, you need to use long division. Let's do a quick review on our long division. If I have to divide 253 divided by 8. So I first look and see how many times does 8 go into 25. In this case, 3. Then I multiply. 3 times 8 is 24, and I subtract. Bring down the next number. 8 goes into 13 one time. 1 times 8 is 8. Subtract again, and I get 5. Sorry, my brain went blank. And since 8 will not go into 5, there are two ways to do this. So one way to do this is to put a decimal point and continue to divide. But since on my polynomials I won't be able to put a decimal point, I'm going to write this as a remainder. So that would be 5. That would be 5/8. All right, let's try one now with a polynomial. And I'm going to do the one we just did by factoring, which was x squared plus 6x minus 7 divided by x plus 7. When I'm dividing by a polynomial, I really want to know how many times does x go into x squared, just like you did 8 into 25. You didn't go into the whole number, you just did into the first piece. I'm just going to worry about the x. X times what gives me x squared? That's going to be another x. And since I really don't have hundreds, tenths, units places like I do over here, you can put that x anywhere you want. But the next thing I did was I multiplied 3 times 8. So I'm going to multiply x times the whole binomial. X times x is x squared. X times 7 is 7x. Now I'm going to subtract. X squared minus x squared is 0. I don't need to write that. 6x minus 7x. Got to be careful because I have to subtract the 7x. So that gives me negative 1x. Bring down the next piece. So x times what gives me -1? That would be -1. -1 times all of this. -1 times x is -x. -1 times 7 is -7. If I subtract all of that, that means I have to change all my signs. I end up with 0, and my answer is x minus 1. I know this is confusing. We're going to do several. We'll do a couple more in class before I let you get started. Let's try another one together. This one is going to have a remainder. Whoops, I should say divided by in between. So, x squared plus 3x minus 24 divided by x minus 4. X times what gives you x squared? It'll be x times x. So x times x is x squared. X times -4 is -4x. Subtract everything. Might be a good idea to change that to addition and change your signs inside. X squared minus x squared is 0. 3x plus 4x is 7x. Bring down the next piece. Come back to here. X times what gives you 7x? Plus 7. 7 times x is 7x. 7 times -4 is -28. Again, subtract the whole thing. 7x minus 7x is 0. -24 minus a negative, that makes that plus. We have a remainder of 4, and that comes up as 4 over x minus 4. This is my final answer. Again, slow it down, go back, listen again, and we will do some in class. I want to do one that has a missing piece. So look here, we've got x cubed, and then we jump to x. We're missing an x squared term. So when I write this, I want to put a placeholder in there for my x squared spot. All right, what do I have to multiply x by to get x cubed? That would be x squared. X squared times all of this. X cubed minus 2x squared, subtract. These will cancel. Minus a negative is a positive. Bring down my next piece. Back to the beginning. X times what gives you 2x squared? X times 2x. 2x times all of this. 2x squared minus 4x. If I subtract everything, these cancel. 8x minus a -4 is plus 4. I get 12x minus 24. Back to the beginning. X times what gives me 12x? Plus 12. 12 times x. 12 times -2. And this one works out evenly, no remainder. So my solution to this problem is x squared plus 2x plus 12. All right. Again, I know that this is confusing, but we will do some in class.